channel. Today we will know about generation of computers. Okay, so generation of computers, we have seen that there are many generation of computers. First generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation, and so on. So first generation computer, we have seen that it was timing period was 1940 to 1956, and that time vacuum tubes were used. And now we will see what are the key features of that generation. Number one, big and clumsy computers. They used vacuum tubes. Number two, they are not very reliable as electric failure occurred regularly. Number three, large air conditions were necessary because that computers generated lots of hits. Number four, they were used stored program concept. Number five, programming language, machine language was used that time. Okay, now what are the limitations of that computers? They have very large space requirement. High electricity consumption was necessary. They produced lots of heat. Their operating speed was very slow, and they restricted computing capacity was there, and limited programming capabilities also was there. Now, which type of memory first generation computers were used? They were used magnetic drums, and for storage purpose they punch cards and paper tapes were used. Okay, now which type of input and output devices were used that first generation computers? Either no input devices or control panels with switches were used. Okay, and which types of computers were used? The ENIAC, EDVAC, EDSAC, UNIVAC 1, these type of computers were used. Okay, in first generation computers. See, second generation computers. Second generation computers timing period was 1956 to 1963, and that time transistors were used. Now see, what are the key features of generation computers? Number one, transistors replaced vacuum tubes. Means, see, in first generation vacuum tubes were used. Now in second generation transistors were used. Number two, they are smaller in size compared to first generation computers. Number three, second generation computers produced less heat than first generation computers. Number four, lower electricity consumption. Number five, they are more reliable and faster than first generation computers. And number five, programming in first second generation computer, machine language as well as assembly language were used. Now, what are the limitations of second generation computers? Number one, they are not general purpose computer, most suitable to scientific and bulk data processing tasks only, not for business purposes. Number two, the machines were very costly. Number three, frequent maintenance required in second generation computers. And now we will know which type of memory was used in second generation computers. Magnetic core, this type of memory was used that time. And storage, for storage purpose, magnetic tape, hard disks are used. Now, what are the input and output devices were required for second generation computers? For input and output devices, typewriters and punch cards were used. Which major computers were used in second generation? IBM 1400 and 7000 series, control data 3600, etc. computers were used in second generation. Now, we will see the third generation computers. Okay, in third generation computers, timing period was 1964 to 1971. integrated circuits were used that time. Now, what are the key features in third generation computers? Number 1 point, integrated circuits were used. Number 2, computers smaller, faster and more reliable than first and second generation computers. Number 3, lower power consumption. Number 4, high level languages developed in that time. And number 5 point, size of main memories reached about 4 megabytes and storage drive capacity is reached up to 100 megabytes. Now, what are the limitations of fourth generation computers? Limitations: number 1, proved to be highly reliable, relatively inexpensive and faster. Number 2 point, less human labor was required at assembly stage. One thing I have told that time that fourth generation, but no, we are discussing now third generation. The limitations of third generation computers I have told, not fourth generation. Now, memory type. Which memory types were used that time in third generation? Core memory and RAM chips, DRAM chips actually were used in third generation of computers. And storage purposes, hard disks, floppy disks were used. Now, we will know which input and output devices were used. Input and output devices, keyboards, printers were used in third generation computers. Major computers: IBM 360 series, ICL 1900 series, IBM 370/168, ICL 2900, CDC 1700. These computers were used. Okay. Now, we will see fourth generation computers. Fourth generation computers time period starts from 1971 to present, and microprocessors were used. And what are the key features? Number 1, large and very large integrated circuits were used. Number 2 point, microcomputer series such as IBM and Apple developed. Number 3 point, portable computers developed. Number 4 point, great development in data communication. Number 5, different types of secondary memory with high storage capacity up to terabyte and fast access developed. And last point, in fourth generation, programming languages were used in high level languages. 4GLs were used also. Now, limitations. What are the limitations of fourth generation computers? Computer costs came down so rapidly that these found places in most offices and homes. Smaller and faster, more speed, reliability, storage capability, personal software industry boomed. Memory chips were used, and the storage capacity: hard disks, floppy disks, CD, DVD, flash memories, Blu-ray disks, cloud, etc. Okay. What are the input and output devices were used? In keyboard, mouse, joysticks, voice input, printers, plotters, speakers, etc. were used. Which major computers were used in fourth generation computers? Pentium 80286, 80386, 80486, P5, dual core, quad core, etc. Power PC, AMD, Apple, Macintosh, IBM, etc. etc. Now, fifth generation computers means generation beyond, generation present and beyond, means artificial intelligence. Now, so what are the key features? Parallel processing, superconductors. Parallel processing means many processors are grouped to function as one large group processor. And superconductors, a superconductor is a conductor through which electricity can travel without any resistance, resulting in faster transfer of information between the components. Okay. And what are the limitations? Intelligence systems that could control the route of a missile and defense systems that could fend off attacks. Number 2, word processors that could be controlled by means of speech recognition. Number 3, programs that could translate documents from one language to another language. And memory chips were used for memory and storage. hard disk, CD, DVD, flash memories, Blu-ray discs, cloud, etc. Which type of input and output devices were used? Joysticks, keyboard, mouse, input printers, plotters, voice input, speakers, etc. And which major computers were used? Many robots and robotic devices. So these are the all are the generations of computers we have